A failing grade. What a new study says about Wisconsin's and Madison's efforts to keep fresh drinking water in schools.
And mounting troubles for a West Side apartment complex after partially collapsing yesterday. Today, we're told the contractor did not have permits.
Plus, a one-on-one with the family of a Beloit homicide victim. How they're feeling after police announce an arrest in the case.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. Wisconsin environmental groups are urging state lawmakers to make clean drinking water a top priority.
A new report gives the state a failing grade for its policies on addressing lead in school drinking water. Rose Schmidt explains how one local school district has taken strides to address the issue. Rose?
Yes, well, the report says most schools still have fountains or faucets that contain lead, but they're not currently required to test for it. The problem, testing is costly, adding up to more than $100,000 when the Madison Metropolitan School District tested district-wide back in 2017.
We're responsible for 25,000 little ones every single day.
And with thousands of students,
It was on us to make sure the water they were drinking was as safe as possible.
Chad Weezy says in 2017, that philosophy led the Madison Metropolitan School District to test all 1,300 water fixtures a student or staff member could drink from, finding that 93% came back below the federal standard for lead.
We hadn't done district-wide testing in 30 years and had folks in the community and parents and teachers that wondered why not.
97 samples came back higher than the EPA recommends, but those fixtures have since been replaced. Since then, the school district has decided to annually test 10% of its faucets. But Madison is in the minority of school districts that test at all.
The problem is that across the state, we don't have requirements for testing, disclosing, and ultimately getting the lead out of our drinking water in schools.
The group Wisconsin Environment is asking state lawmakers to pass Governor Evers' budget proposal, which allocates $40 million to support lead service line removal. But as for whether that will happen, Republican leaders aren't saying.
I feel like the simple answer was to just say we're going to have government pay for all these lead letter replacements, but the number nationwide is trillions of dollars, which we will never have the ability, at least in Wisconsin, to be able to do things like that everywhere across the state.
Assembly Speaker Robin Vos has created a task force of bipartisan legislators to address water quality issues, and he says it is a problem he's open to fixing. Wisconsin Environment hopes that task force will create an opportunity to address the problem, particularly in schools. The report from Wisconsin Environment says that most schools, while they have fountains or faucets that contain lead, they're also pushing for schools to be required to disclose results when they test for lead and create a plan to remove that lead as well.
All right, Rose Schmidt reporting tonight. Rose, thank you very much.
Demolition crews did not have a permit to work on the apartments that collapsed yesterday. That is according to the city of Madison today. Yesterday afternoon, crews were in the basement of Summit Hill Apartments on McKenna Boulevard. They knocked down a load-bearing wall, causing the apartments above the work to collapse. The director for the Building Inspection Division for the city said he doesn't understand how this happened.
It was, at least the photos that I saw, it was fairly obvious that this should have been a load-bearing wall, and why they decided to remove it was kind of beyond comprehension.
Hank told us it is the building owner's responsibility to secure a permit for this, but we are still working to figure out who this company is behind the problem. Building management said they have secured temporary housing for residents who are not allowed back in right now.
Madison police say they were able to use DNA to make an arrest in a stolen vehicle crash from last year. A 14-year-old boy is accused of stealing that SUV, crashing it at the intersection of Mineral Point and Gammon Roads. This was September 25th. According to a release, the driver is well known by police. He has suffered significant injuries now in 3 crashes other than this one involving stolen cars, but was not hurt in this particular case. An alert day has been issued for tomorrow as an April storm is set to move in. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield now with our first alert forecast. Dave?
Well, Eric, rain, snow, some sleet, and also some windy weather on the way over the next couple of days across southern Wisconsin. Really a little bit of everything will be kind of experienced by us over the next 48 hours or so. Doppler track is quiet right now, which is good news, but it won't remain that way for long. I think the start of the precipitation tomorrow, at least in the Madison area, will be closer to the lunch hour. A live look in Madison on the WIC TV Skycam. Noticing the clouds on the increase ahead of that first round of rain and snow showers. Temperatures right now still in the low 60s in Madison, mid 60s in Janesville. Quite a bit cooler though, up closer to Sheboygan and Manitowoc along the lake at 48 and 47 degrees. Wind speeds are out of the north and west right now at about 15 to 20 miles per hour. Will be a windy stretch of weather as well into Wednesday and Thursday. So day planner for tomorrow, starting off in the mid 30s, and highs really won't get out of the 30s all day. We do have a chance of those rain and snow showers moving in for the late morning and early afternoon hours, and we'll time out all the threats that we could see over the next few days in your first alert forecast in just a few minutes.
Dave, thank you. For the second day, the Columbia County District Attorney's Office is closed.
We now know DA Tristan Egan has resigned today, putting the blame on county staff. Amanda Quintana is here now with those details. Amanda?
Yes, well, the State Department of Administration confirmed DA Tristan Egan resigned today. She said she was given an ultimatum by the county to either leave or keep operating the office the way it was, which she calls completely inoperable. In her resignation letter, Egan says before she took office, county officials, quote, appeared to be attempting to strong-arm my opinion and gain favor. County officials implied that if I ever wanted to be elected, I should put my own opinions aside and do as I was told. Today, the DA office lights were off and the blinds were drawn just like they were yesterday. Now we understand why Egan wasn't there. In her letter, she goes on to say her, quote, perfectly functioning office was cast in a negative light and the county chiseled away at it, refusing to replace employees and even terminating one. She also says the county wouldn't tell her any details of a harassment allegation made by someone in the DA's office. She believes all of this has resulted in, quote, diminished prosecution of criminal offenses, victims of crime being pushed to the side. But the county clerk today told me the court calendar is being kept up despite there being no DA there. Multiple initial appearances happened this afternoon with an assistant district attorney present. And prior to this news of her resigning, other county officials were very confused by this whole thing, wondering why she was not in the office.
Amanda Quintana reporting tonight. Amanda, thank you.
New information now about a major crash that happened overnight on John Nolan Drive. Police say the driver of the car, identified now as 33-year-old Joanna Phillips, has been arrested for third offense drunk driving. They say there was also a 10-year-old in the car who suffered significant injuries, now said to be in stable condition. The crash happened about 3 a.m., closing down the main thoroughfare in both directions for about 4 hours.
We do have a witness who was in the area who saw that this suspect was driving very fast on John Nolan Drive and that there was a vehicle right next to her at one point, and it appeared to this witness that they might be racing. Again, that's something we're taking a look at.
Police say the car rolled several times and took down a light pole in the center of the road. They say no one was at the scene when they arrived, but later learned a third party had taken the two to the hospital. John Nolan Drive was reopened about 7 a.m.
A judge has ordered a $1 million cash bond for the man accused of killing his wife in Wisconsin Dells last week. Fuad Pashayev made his first appearance from the jail via video, facing life in prison for the homicide of Tanya Hushva. Her body was found by police on Thursday, but we now know she had been killed about 5 days before. He is not a U.S. citizen, so if he makes bail, he must surrender his passport. The family of a murdered Rock County man is finding a little extra comfort today, knowing the alleged killer is in police custody.
Jacob Davenport was arrested Saturday in LaSalle County, Texas, ending a 2-month-long manhunt. Rock County reporter Adam Duxter spoke with the family of the victim in the case, James Thompton, today. Adam?
Well, Eric and Charlotte, James Thompton's family says there's not a day that goes by where they don't think about him. And while they know that they can't bring him back, they say knowing the person who could potentially be responsible for his death, knowing that he's in police custody, is giving them hope today.
It's been lonely, and I know I'm going to have to suffer this loneliness for the rest of my life.
It's been just over 2 months since Ray Thompton's son, James, was murdered in Beloit.
I'm going to have to try to repiece my life little by little here.
And today, he's still coping with the loss.
There ain't a day that goes by I don't think of my son. Every morning I get up, I have these horrible thoughts of what happened.
Thompton was shot and killed on Vine Street in Beloit in early February. The days following his murder then turned into weeks and months with no answers.
Or I wasn't quite sure if it was going to be a cold case.
In March, a search warrant affidavit revealed Thompton was killed as a portion of a drug deal gone wrong. Still, his family did not know who was responsible.
It's been kind of hard. You know, you look at the pictures and stuff, and you know you're never going to see him again.
On Saturday, they got their answer when police announced they'd taken Jacob Davenport of Beloit in custody in LaSalle, Texas. For family, it was a sigh of relief after 2 months of wondering.
I mean, American justice don't get no better than that. I'm so thankful to the Beloit Police, LaSalle County, Texas authorities, and I'm thankful to the U.S. Marshal Service. They all did a great job.
Today, James Tompton's family is doing their best to keep his spirit alive.
Well, I'm going to have to piece my life back together because this is a real traumatic scene, but this is providing me a doorway to do that.
Beloit police were unavailable for comment today, and they say that this investigation is still ongoing. Now, Jacob Davenport will have to be extradited from Texas to Wisconsin. There's no idea yet on when he could first appear in Rock County Court.
Adam Duxer live in the Rock County Bureau tonight. Adam, thank you.
Still ahead tonight, it's a sure sign of spring, even though we may get more snow before the week is over.
Plus, a sign of improvement for the city of Janesville. That story when we come back. Welcome back. The crime rate in the city of Janesville has reached its second lowest point in the last 20 years.
Police Chief David Moore says some of his concerns include 14 heroin deaths in 2018 and 1 homicide. While he says these drops in numbers might be a result of increases in preventative policing, he says prevention takes more than just the efforts of officers on duty.
Janesville is a safe community. Our entire community is committed to those types of activities that lower a crime rate. It's not just the police department, it's our entire community, and everybody is working well together to push down that crime rate.
Moore says the department plans to continue investing in preventative police measures in an attempt to reduce crimes like domestic violence.
Democratic U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin says she is hopeful that Congress will move quickly on a new proposal increasing broadband resources for small businesses.
What we want to do is make sure that no one in the 21st century is left behind, and the lack of access has impact on our small communities every day. We need to turn this around quickly.
Senator Baldwin helped introduce the bipartisan Access Broadband Act, which would create a new National Office of Internet Connectivity The office would help simplify the process if a small business applies for federal support because of lack of broadband access. Both houses of Congress have introduced this legislation.
And here's a sure sign of spring. The Merrimack Ferry is officially open for the 2019 season. The ferry shuttles vehicles and bikes free of charge across the Wisconsin River between Sauk and Columbia counties. During the season, it operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Last year, the ferry made nearly 47,000 trips and carried almost 240,000 vehicles across the river. Still ahead in sports, an update from Aaron Rodgers as we learn more about his leg injury from last year.
But first, an alert day in the forecast, as Dave mentioned, for tomorrow as a spring-winter storm moves into Wisconsin. Your full forecast in just a few minutes.
Good evening. I hope you had a really nice Tuesday. Another beautiful day across southern Wisconsin with temperatures in the 60s. Plenty of sunshine coming our way. Fortunately, we are doing a complete 180 basically when it comes to the weather over the next couple of days. A resurgence of winter, some snow showers, rain showers, even some sleet as we head into the next couple of days. Believe it or not, we're actually going to miss the brunt of this system. That's going to affect spots like Minnesota, into the Dakotas, back into Nebraska and portions of western Iowa. Right now, our system in question is still getting its act together over by the Rocky Mountains, but it will move in by the time we get to the lunch hour tomorrow and affect us with some rain and snow showers for the afternoon and possibly even into the early evening hours as well. Some light rain showers showing up closer to Waterloo, but overall not too much happening on Doppler track right now. That will not be the case as we head into the next couple of days. Alert days in the forecast for Wednesday and Thursday for a whole bunch of everything. Basically, if you can dream it, the forecast can make it happen over the next 48 hours or so. Rain showers, some mixed precipitation, some snow showers, also some windy weather, especially on Thursday, and some thunderstorms out of the question later on Thursday afternoon into the evening hours. So temperatures right now, they are pretty all over the map. In Rhinelander at 36, Madison 62, and close to 70 right now across portions of Illinois, like in Moline. Live look in Platteville, we have really clouded up over the last few hours on our Queen Bee Radio Skycam. Similar story with a little bit of sunshine still left on the Edgewater Skycam in Madison. 65 degrees today, so 10 degrees above normal for this time of year. We'll be lucky if we get out of the 30s tomorrow. I think we'll be stuck in the mid-30s, so we could be going from about 10 to 15 degrees above normal to about 20 degrees below normal in a span of about a day and a half. Temperatures in the low 30s tonight, mostly cloudy and chilly as we head into tomorrow. Highs really not getting out of the 30s. A cold day, breezy with rain and snow showers possible. So we'll start this on Wednesday morning. The precipitation slowly moving in from the southwest to northeast. I think it really takes until we get to the early afternoon hours for the bulk of this to hit Madison. We still may have some light showers in the morning hours, but really we're watching closer to the afternoon and evening hours for a lot of this to be falling. And it's still there's still some question marks, folks, as to how much really this snow will impact us, because the ground temperatures are so warm. So is the snow going to stick around very long? Probably not, but we still could see about an inch or two of snow accumulation, mainly on grassy surfaces, before everything gets out of here by the time we get to Friday. Some mixed precipitation and some thunderstorms possible on Thursday before Friday we start to quiet down a bit. Generally looking at about an inch of snow or less of accumulation across southern Wisconsin, maybe a little bit more to the north of Madison. But again, this snow is not going to stick around for that long. What could have some lasting impacts is the rain, because we'll have to watch the local rivers once again with about an inch and a half of rain possible over the next couple of days. Quick look at that 10-day forecast. We're near 50 with the sunshine back with us on Saturday.
Well, now that Tony Bennett has won a national championship, what's he going to do next? Hint, he's not going to Disneyland. But it is the happiest place on earth if you like golf. That story next in sports. Well, the first public glimpse of the new look Badgers will be this Saturday when spring practice will be open to the public starting at 11:30 in the morning. That's the only chance you'll get this spring because there is no spring game this year. Still a lot to be worked out with this team, though, according to head coach Paul Chryst. But then again, that is what spring practice is for. And part of that, figuring out what a balanced offense will look like for the Badgers this year.
Last year we were a 60-40 team, 60% run, 40% pass. And, you know, you're going to need them both to be good. And so I think you're always striving to do that within what your group can handle. And obviously we're early in that process for defining this offense's personality. And you know, we got some good pieces. Certainly we lost, you know, some really good players, right? But we got some good players that are coming back. And so it's this group's opportunity to build their own identity.
Well, it's been a busy few days for Aaron Rodgers. On the radio show Wilde and Tausch on ESPN Milwaukee, Rodgers said he fractured his shin and sprained his MCL in Week 1 against the Chicago Bears, and obviously continued to play, starting 16 games, something he is proud of, he says. Now, he did go on to say that he is disappointed in how last season ended, and the concussion he suffered in Week 17 against the Lions was a little scary, not being able to see and losing his vision. But he also said that these conditions weren't an excuse for how he played. Looking forward now to this upcoming season, a skeleton of the Packers' preseason schedule was made public today, starting with a matchup against J.J. Watt and the Houston Texans at home, followed by a trip to Baltimore. Now, the location of Week 3 against the Raiders is still to be determined, and finishing up by welcoming the Chiefs to Lambeau. Exact dates and kickoff times also to be determined. And in case you missed it last night, the University of Virginia won its first national title in men's basketball as March Madness officially came to an end. The Cavaliers, led by Clintonville, Wisconsin native Tony Bennett, whose dad, Dick Bennett, was at the game last night as well. He coached the Badgers from 1995 to 2001. So what are they going to do in their first weekend as national champs? Well, Tony has a few ideas.
And how happy were you that your dad was there to see his son win a championship?
Well, my dad said if I ever got to the Final Four, he'd come and play Augusta with me, so maybe you can get us on that course, all right?
I'll work on that one.
And speaking of the Masters, has not been a good couple days for practice. For the second day in a row, play was stopped due to the weather. Today, it was lightning, so fans and players had to leave the grounds for a few hours. And it might not get much better because there are storms on the forecast for this weekend in Augusta, Georgia. Round 1 starts on Thursday. You can watch the Masters on Saturday and Sunday right here on WISC TV. The Angels handing the Brewers a 5-2 loss late last night. It was tied until the 4th inning, Jhoulys Chacín giving up a home run to Andrelton Simmons. And tonight, another late first pitch at 9:07 Central. Freddie Peralta starting on the mound for the Brewers. Matt Harvey getting the call for the Angels, guys.
All right. Melissa, thank you. Final check on what we can expect these next couple of days.
Yeah, it's a lot for sure, with some rain and snow showers possible tomorrow, some thunderstorms and windy weather on Thursday. Alert days in the forecast for both of those days. I do think the precipitation starts to wrap up a little bit on Friday, and then for the weekend, not looking too bad, at least on Saturday, with highs near 50 and plenty of sunshine. Could have some more showers as we head into Sunday and for much of next week. As far as snow accumulations go, not looking at a whole lot, and what will fall will mostly accumulate on grassy surfaces.
All right, Dave, thank you very much, and thank you for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Enjoy your evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.